From giant footprints preserved in stone to the secrets of the universe, here are 10 mysterious discoveries scientists can't explain. Stone footprints. Are giants real? People have been asking this question for thousands of years. Ever since man learned how to tell stories, he has been telling stories of giants, men double or triple the size of any normal human being. These tales even exist in the Bible, from David's enemy Goliath to the mythical Nephilim. But what if there was proof of giants on Earth right now? There have been recent sightings of giant footprints stomped into the stone all over the planet, but one particular footprint really stands out. It was a video uploaded to the internet which apparently shows an enormous footprint stamped into the stone near a small town close to the border of South Africa and Eswatini. The footprint in question is about 4 or 5 feet long, 1.5 meters, and the rock itself is around 200 million years old according to a report by The Sun. Of course, there are a lot of naysayers claiming that it's not actually a footprint at all. They say it's nothing more than a giant depression that kinda looks like a foot, but that doesn't stop visitors from checking the site out and taking their photo with the giant stone footprint. Is it indisputable evidence that human beings 30 feet tall, 9 meters, once walked the Earth? Probably not, but it's still a mystery science cannot explain. What do you think? Could giant prehistoric humanoids have walked the Earth millions of years ago? Could it have been a different animal that merely left a footprint that resembles our own? Or is there a different explanation? Let me know what you think in a comment below. Longyou Caves. The Longyou Caves are located deep inside the Zhejiang province of China near the small village of Shiyan Beicun. The caves sat completely undiscovered for thousands of years until a local man went in search of them. There had been a local legend about bottomless ponds for as long as any of the residents of the town could remember. Well, one man went in search of the legend. He rallied the community and used a massive hydraulic pump to drain their local ponds. After 17 days, the ponds were empty and what remained were ancient handmade caves with a total of 36 grottos. It was first discovered in 1992 and has remained the biggest ancient excavation project in history. The origin of the caves is completely undocumented and shrouded in mystery. It turns out the caverns were carved deep below the earth with many rooms, bridges, pools, and even gutters. Plus, there are intricate carvings on almost all the walls. Pillars support the ceiling. Chisel marks show that the caves were carved by hand, but nobody knows which civilization created them. Even with all the current technology and all the archaeological research that has gone into the Longyou Caves, their origin remains a complete mystery. It's even a mystery of how they were constructed. The amount of rock that would have needed to be removed is straight up boggling. Considering the average digging rate of a single human with ancient tools, it would have taken 1,000 people 6 years of working 24 hours a day to complete the caves. And those calculations don't take into account the time for removing the dirt, for engineering, or for creating the unique displays of art. But the most baffling of all is the complete lack of documentation. There are no clues anywhere in history as to who built the caves or why they are there. Before the Big Bang. The most unexplainable mystery in the history of the universe is what happened before the Big Bang. According to just about every scientist in the world right now, the Big Bang started the universe between 13.7 and 13.8 billion years ago. But what happened before? And how reliable is the actual theory of the Big Bang? The brutal truth is that scientists are actually grasping at mathematical straws. They have a compelling argument, but it's not proven by any stretch. It's called the Big Bang Theory for a reason. They claim the Big Bang was a moment in time in which a dense superforce, also known as the singularity, exploded and the universe expanded at incredible speeds. This doesn't mean that the universe was balanced on the head of a needle. It means that the universe was already there, but it was filled with a hot, dense material, and then for whatever reason, the bang went off and the material expanded, atoms were created, protons and neutrons collided, and thus began the exponential expansion of the universe. But what was there before? Some scientists say that there was nothing before the Big Bang. No time, nothing at all. But the big mystery here is how could that be possible? How could there be an infinite universe of ultra-hot and dense matter? Why is it there? What caused the bang to go off? Some theories suggest our universe is the offspring of another universe, a broken off piece of space-time. Other theories say that before our universe, there was another completely identical one, but it was moving backwards in time rather than forwards, and the Big Bang was a moment of symmetry. The list goes on. I doubt we will ever know the truth. What do you think about this issue? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And remember to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest videos. Maine's Viking penny. This story starts on the shores of Maine back in the fall of 1956. A man named Guy Melgren, who just so happened to be an amateur archaeologist, had been searching for a unique dig site with his friend when they came upon a rather unusual discovery. The dig site was on a man's shoreline property on a natural terrace around 8 feet, 2.5 meters above the tide. Guy Melgren found all kinds of interesting artifacts, from knives and fire pits all the way to a bizarre coin. The immediate thought was that the coin was minted in 12th century England. Nobody argued with the discovery until 1978, when a regional bulletin published a photo of the coin with a headline that read, "Were the English the first to discover America?" The bulletin was seen by a London dealer who recognized the coin right away. It was not actually minted in England because it was a Norse penny made somewhere between 1065 and 1093. What Melgren found all those years ago was in fact potential evidence that Vikings had landed in North America centuries before Columbus. This led to a whole lot of experts suddenly being very interested in the original site from the dig in 1956. But the real mystery became how exactly the coin made it from Norway to Maine. There was not really any evidence of a Norse settlement in the area where the coin was found, which means that it could have traveled through the hands of ancient traders and ended up at its final spot. So the question then is, who brought it and when? That's so amazing to consider, it makes you wonder how many other strange events took place in the distant past that we will never know about. Probably a lot. The Baltic Sea Anomaly. The Baltic Sea Anomaly has been stumping researchers for years. It's one of the most mysterious discoveries ever. First off, the Baltic Sea Anomaly definitely looks like a spaceship sitting at the bottom of the ocean. There is no denying that it looks exactly like a crashed UFO. It was first discovered by the Ocean X team while hunting for treasure on the floor of the Baltic Sea in 2011. According to team members themselves, the Baltic Sea Anomaly has features that resemble ramps, stairways, and other man-made structures. And not only that, but there appeared to be a ramp leading directly to the object as if it had skidded across the ocean floor before coming to a stop. The Ocean X team even went back in 2012 to try and get more photos, but claimed they were unable to get clear images because of a mysterious electrical interference. Of course, scientists all over the world have discredited the claims of a UFO sitting on the bottom of the ocean. Instead, they claim the anomaly is actually just a big old chunk of rock. They say the rock just so happens to look like a UFO, but it's actually nothing more than a clever coincidence. As of today, nobody knows the 100% truth about the Baltic Sea Anomaly. It's been discredited as a rock or glacial formation, but unless we go down there and touch it, nobody is going to know for sure. What do you think? Would you ever try to scuba dive down there and find out for yourself? Should one of our planet's billionaires fund an expedition to see what's going on under the Baltic Sea? Leave your thoughts below. Slime mold intelligence. Meet one of the most incredible organisms on the planet. It's known as the blob, and it's a yellowish hunk of slime mold that has around 720 different chromosomal patterns, the ability to heal itself, and a pretty mysterious composition. It has no mouth, no eyes, no brain, and yet the slime can apparently remember things and solve problems, which is incredibly impressive for a slime. What the heck is this thing? For a long time, scientists had believed that slime molds were a kind of fungus, especially since they prefer dark environments just like fungi do. But now scientists think the slime molds could more closely resemble amoeba. Like amoeba, slime molds consist of a single cell and move by stretching their creeping limbs, which are called pseudopods. The blob belongs to a subset of slime molds known as plasmodial slime molds, which are enormous single cells that contain thousands and thousands of nuclei. What's so mysterious about it? Well, even though scientists have figured out a lot about these molds, they are still observing and experimenting. They know quite a bit, but there is still a lot to discover. Who knows what kinds of secret the intelligent slime mold will reveal in time? Their mere existence is a mystery. Talkati Stone. The Talkati Stone is said to be the oldest representation of the zodiac in the world. This stone was discovered at a temple complex in Salina, southern Italy, and is currently exhibited at the National Museum of Archaeology in Valletta. The limestone slab is about the size of a book, and it's divided into 5 sections with depictions of stars and figures. Most archaeologists agree that the stone is probably a fragment of a larger stone, which may have been one of the very first star maps or moon calendars in the entire world. However, its exact purpose remains a total mystery. There is one German academic named Kai Heldsworth who believes he has cracked the mystery, claiming that the stone was an ancient navigational tool which mapped not only the stars but also the water currents in the Mediterranean Sea. He suggests that some of the depictions on the stone are actually boats and that the stars are constellations, all of which correspond directly to the early Phoenician shipping routes through the Mediterranean. If he's right, it would make Malta the center of the shipping world back in the Bronze Age, but still, it's just a theory and nobody knows for sure. Prehistoric lovers. Archaeologists uncovered a pair of skeletons back in February of 2007 at a construction site near the Italian city of Mantua. As you can see from the way the skeletons were found, they appeared to be lovers in their final embrace. It doesn't get much more romantic than that. The skeletons are believed to be from the Neolithic period, which would mean they were buried somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 years before today. When the archaeologists began digging up the bones, they hoped to keep their embrace undisturbed and preserved in perfect condition. To make the story even more romantic, the site of this discovery is only 25 miles south of Verona, the city in which Shakespeare's story Romeo and Juliet takes place. As you can imagine, the initial discovery had the media going crazy with all kinds of tales of prehistoric love. The couple had even died young since they still had teeth in their mouths. Nearby the couple, archaeologists found flint tools, one arrowhead, and even a knife. But the archaeologists warned that the scene could be much less romantic than it appears. The truth is that they have no idea exactly what the couple were doing in that position 6,000 years ago. It's very difficult to know, and it's going to be one of those romantic mysteries that's better off never being solved. The Amphipolis Tomb. The archaeological site at Amphipolis, about 370 miles north of Athens, is believed to be the most impressive burial site ever discovered in Greece, and it was discovered only recently. A team of archaeologists only started to work at the site back in 2012, and it was not until 2018 that they announced they had uncovered a massive 1,600-foot marble wall encircling a huge tomb complex. The complex is even larger than the burial site of Alexander the Great's father. The archaeologists believe the tomb belongs to Alexander's mother. A vaulted corridor leads directly to the tomb, and the researchers discovered a pair of headless and wingless sphinxes which guarded the entrance. They also believe that the tomb originally would have been crowned by a massive 16-foot, 5-meter marble statue known as the Lion of Amphipolis, which was found several miles away in 1912. The entire burial site dates back to between 325 and 300 BC, which coincides with the end of the reign of Alexander the Great. It was mostly destroyed during the Roman occupation of Greece, yet some parts have survived with minimal looting over the past 2,000 years. The current speculation is that the tomb either belongs to Alexander the Great, his mother, or his wife. However, because Alexander perished in Babylon in the year 323, it's believed that he was probably buried in Egypt. The last known location of Alexander's sarcophagus was in Alexandria in northern Egypt. By the 4th century AD, its exact location became unknown and is still unknown to this day. This is why it makes much more sense that the mother of the greatest warrior king to have ever walked the planet is buried in one of the greatest tombs in all of Greece. The only other candidate is Roxana, the wife of Alexander the Great, who was murdered in 311 BC along with her son Alexander IV. Easter Island. Easter Island is one of those incredible discoveries that has been plaguing the world with questions ever since it was found. While most people look at the giant statues, also known as moai, and think those are the biggest mystery, it's actually not the case. The statues of Easter Island were not very difficult to make. They simply carved the statues out of stone from a quarry on the island and then used wooden sledges and log rails to get them into position. But yes, the statues were absolutely huge. The largest is around 35 feet tall, 10 meters, and weighs around 1,600 pounds, 700 kilograms. The real mystery is the decimation of the population of the island, traditionally known as Rapa Nui. One of the possibilities is that the inhabitants of the island were actually so obsessed with building their giant statues that they continued making bigger ones and bigger ones until they eventually decimated the forests of the island and ran out of wood to use for canoes to hunt fish. This meant more land needed to be cleared for crops so that they could feed themselves. Basically, one of the going theories is that they unintentionally destroyed themselves by mismanaging their environment and obsessing over huge stone statues. But there are other theories, like that rats from Polynesian explorers made it to their island and ended up destroying the entire ecosystem. There is also a theory that says disease and slavery eventually killed the residents of the island, and this may be true since in 1862 it is accepted knowledge that slave traders from Peru stole about half of their population. Probably the rest were destroyed by disease. What do you think? The whole situation is perplexing, and the truth is probably even stranger than the theories we have right now. Do you have any theories regarding these mystery discoveries? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and see you again soon for another amazing video.